Tourism in Egypt is a multi-million-dollar business. If people from around the world knew who built those pyramids, the present Egyptian government is afraid that they would not want to come. And so they must make it like they built the pyramids. If I were them, I would do the same thing. I would not want people to know that the people that built the pyramids and the temples and the shrines and the philosophy and the alphabet, I would not want them to know it wasn't me, because I want to make the money. The present day people in Egypt want to make the money. You know what it would look like if people knew that what they were selling was somebody else's history? People wouldn't come.
You are so knowledgeable in the field of Kemet, in the field of ancient Egypt and everything. People are very unaware because you see the pyramids, you see the nose cut off, and people are really. I was even talking to my friends, and they didn't know that Egypt was once called Kemet, and Kemet meant the black land, the land of black people. And to me, I just want to ask you because I feel like this is what they're trying to do. Why are they trying to hide this Kemetic history? Why are they trying to hide the fact that we made the pyramids and all this? Why? Why?
For the same reason that another group of them is trying to erase our history. You see, I led a tour in Egypt in June of 2024. We brought 61 people to Egypt. We went all around. And I have on my website and on my Instagram link, we did a documentary series on our trip. It's up on my site. Tourism in Egypt is a multi-million-dollar business. If people from around the world knew who built those pyramids, the present Egyptian government is afraid that they would not want to come. And so they must make it like they built the pyramids. They don't even understand what our ancestors were carving on the walls. In my book, Spirituality Before Religions, I do an analysis of the walls of Kemet. And I try to explain the philosophy, African philosophy, deep thought of our ancestors, how deep they were. Brilliant. Brilliant. We don't think like that now. Our neurons in our brains are not connected the way our ancestors were. Even in Kenya, Kenya is the heart of the human family. It was one of the first places that the Twa Mbuti Khoisan went. Kenya. I consider the northern part of Kenya part of Kush. The northern part of Kenya that goes into Ethiopia, Djibouti, Eritrea, Somalia, across Chad, through Sudan, and then the southern part of Kemet. That's Kush. And then those Kushites moved north and created what we call Egypt. But check this out. The word Egypt is a corruption of a Greek word. Think of it like this: E dash GY dash PT, Egypt. The Greeks called this land Aegyptos. Aegyptos. So think in terms of EGYPT. That came from the Greek AI dash G-U-P, G-U, I should say, G-U dash P-T, O-S, Aegyptos. Egypt, Aegyptos. But the Greeks called it Aegyptos because the Africans called it Hekapata. Hekapata. Hekaptah. Hekapata. So now look at Egypt. That's what we call it today.
Yes.
That came from the Greek word Aegyptos. Aegyptos. But the Greeks got it from Hekaptah. Egypt is a corruption of an African word. But Hekapata was the capital where the pyramids are built. In that area there, that's what the Africans call that part. So they Kemet, the black land, was what they called the general area. But that particular area, Hekapata, became Aegyptos, which meant the land, the Greeks called it, which then became Agypt, Egypt. It's like if somebody went to Kenya and called Kenya Nairobi.
Mm-hmm.
They named the whole land, the whole country, after the capital. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah, it does. It does. Mm-hmm.
See, it's good you're recording. Because if you should choose to go back over and listen to what I'm saying, it can
Yes.
sink in. Because that's who we are. If I were them, I would do the same thing. I would not want people to know that the people that built the pyramids and the temples and the shrines and the philosophy and the alphabet, I would not want them to know it wasn't me. Because I want to make the money. The present day people in Egypt want to make the money. You know what it would look like if people knew that what they were selling was somebody else's history? People wouldn't come. They wouldn't come. And you know what's also very interesting? Is that the wisdom and knowledge of Kemet came from Kush. What evolved up there came from where you are right now. There is as much to celebrate about Kenya as it is about Kush, as it is about Kemet. We get caught up in the exoticness of Egypt. There's a place in Kenya, in northern Kenya. It's called Namoratunga. Namoratunga. It's called Namoratunga. Namoratunga. The Konso people. There's a Konso people up there. And the Konso people are not only part of northern Kenya, but they're also part of southern Ethiopia. Same people. It was the Europeans that divided into 54 countries. But the Konso people were a people that lived, that today would be part of southern Ethiopia and northern Kenya. Same people, over by the Omo River. It's over by the Omo River.
Yeah.
There is a place called Namoratunga. In Namoratunga, there is 19 basalt slabs that are in the earth in northern Kenya that are lines of sight for 5 different constellations. Constellations of Canis Major, Orion, of Taurus, Triangulum, and it looks like a serpent in the sky, Namoratunga. And now, miles away from Namoratunga 1, you have Namoratunga 2. In Namoratunga 2, the same basalt lines of sight, they're stones in the ground that are in alignment with constellations and stars. Okay? But here, it's a cemetery. It's a cemetery where the dead are buried. One is an astronomical observatory. Miles away, with all the headstones facing in the same direction, it's a cemetery. Well, what does that say that our ancestors were thinking? That as you live and you die, that you align your line of sight with the heavens, so that when you die, your spirit rides into the heavens. It's a metaphor. It's a story. And that is why most headstones should face east. Most cemeteries, the headstone should face east. The same way in Islam, everybody prays to the east. Well, they don't pray to the east. They pray to the sun. Just like they did in Kush. Ra, the giver of all life. The sun is the giver of all life. And so they believe that when you died, you returned back to where your life came from. So you traveled east. Astronomy and spirituality. Science and spirituality. That's why my book, Spirituality Before Religions, is subtitled Spirituality is Unseen Science. Science is seen spirituality. It's us, Brother Orina. Our ancestors were geniuses. And they laid out a story for us. And you know what was interesting? When I have been to Kemet, I've often felt that our ancestors knew one day that they would be erased from history. So they left a legacy on the walls. They carved it in stone so that it could never be destroyed, knowing that we, their children, would come back one day and rescue, research, and restore the African legacy. And that's what we're doing. We are rescuing it from the hands that don't know what they're talking about. We're researching it once we get it, and we're restoring it back onto the throne. We're doing it as we speak. And every generation, we're passing the baton. Those that came before me, passed the baton to me. My teachers told me there was no way and there was nothing I could do to repay them for what they did for me, except to do for others what they did for me. And so when you and I sit here and we have this conversation, I am paying them back by paying this forward to you and to those who are listening. There's one thing I ask. Don't believe a word I say. My job isn't to make you believe me. My job is to make you think. Think.
Mm.
Why would somebody do that to you? Why would someone treat you like that? Why would someone try to take your spirituality from you? Why would they take your language from you? Why would they erase your history? Why would they take your values, your interests, and your principles away from you? Why? Why? Why would one person do that to another? Because they're afraid of you. And they're afraid of what would happen if you knew your history, you spoke your language, and you honored your values, interests, and principles. They're afraid. False evidence appearing real. And they deny it. And what happens when the twins give birth, they give birth to the isms that create schisms to divide us, to conquer us, because they're afraid of what happens when the black man and the black woman unite with respect and dignity and bring forward families. When the black man is proud to be who he is, when the black woman is proud to be who she is, that's a nuclear bomb right there. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's more than a nuclear bomb. That changes everything without taking a life. But that creates life. And that's the life that they wanted to kill. Because they ain't never want us, Brother Orina and Brother Kaba, to have this conversation like this. They ain't never wanted this to happen.
Yeah.
And they do not want you to be the type of person that's going to bring this information to the people. For them to think. Think. Don't believe it. I don't care if people believe me. I want you to think. People say to me, oh, I don't agree with you. Then they give me this whole reason why they don't agree with me. But what they don't realize is, well, that's good. I made you think. Whether you agree with me or not, I couldn't care less. The fact that you don't agree with me, and this is why, A, B, C, D, 3, the fact that you can tell me why, I made you think. And when I made you think, I made your neurons connect. And when your neurons connected, that's when you came to the decision you don't necessarily agree with me. I don't care because I know what I'm talking about. One day you'll understand what I'm saying. But right now, called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when you believe something for a long time and all of a sudden somebody comes with some information that changes everything you ever believed. You say, oh my God, but all this time I've been believing this. Now all of a sudden he's dropping some stuff and it makes sense to me. It scares me because now I got to change the way I'm thinking. So the result of cognitive dissonance is that you either hold tight to what you believe, even though it's a lie, or you begin to alter the way you think because the truth is overwhelming. And when the truth is overwhelming, you have to change the way you think. Just the way it is.